He showed me some stuff, some Rolexes, some Omegas, some Pateks. He also had, and I'm like, okay, I buy this one and that one.
He was like, do you want to
nice.
think about that?
Yeah, he was
like the opposite of sales.
Yeah, he was not a salesperson. He was like, do you want to think about it? Are you sure?
You were telling me, I don't know much about your story right now. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Un espresso.
Sí, y dos con leche. Sí, gracias.
I don't know much about your story, so right now you are. How do you define yourself right now in Canary Islands? What's your job? What you're doing? What the main thing you're doing right now in Canary Islands for
Okay.
other people?
The main thing I am basically a real estate investor and advisor. I mean, I have a company where I invest my money and the money of my colleague, of my business friend, business partner. And I also help investors that are not used to invest here in the Canary Islands. They don't know the market, the laws, and so on. I help them to make good investments, to make profitable investments, basically.
Okay.
Starting back 1 second, I believe
Yeah.
one important thing is that right now we are in Canary Islands. You moved way before me here to Canary Islands, but also I would like to ask you, how did you decide to actually move? You know, we are Italians.
Yeah.
We are from Italy. We lived most of our life in Italy. Well, kinda. And why did you decide at a certain
Why Canary
point
Islands?
to move? Why did you decide to actually move out from Italy, and why did you choose Canary Islands? I believe it's very important because we're here right now. It's December. It's December 8th. Yeah, it's December 8th today, and you know it's amazing weather. We were in the pool, and of course that's a very important part, I believe, of the decision. But I believe you have much more to tell us.
Yeah, I need to explain first that this is my second life. This one in the Canary Islands. I had a first life when in my 40s, like I think most of the people that are in their 40s. I asked myself, what about your life?
Right.
Are you satisfied? Is this the life you wanted to live, and so on? And the answer was that I was quite satisfied by my life, but I wanted to do more. So I missed something, and I started to look for what I was missing.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, well, money is a great part, I think, of everyone's life. If you want to do whatever you want, you need the basically money and
Financial freedom.
financial freedom,
Yeah.
and financial tools that you need for do whatever you want, to make whatever choice you want to make. So first I started to ask myself, which is the difference between who is not making money and who is making money, is
Right.
making a lot of money.
Yeah.
I was satisfied. I was an advisor. I had an advisory company in the information technology. It was good. I was missing nothing. I already bought 2 houses, so my financial situation was not so bad. But
Right.
that was not the point. I wanted to do more for me and for my family. So I started to read, basically, to read
Okay.
books.
Nice.
And for looking, for searching which are the points that make the difference between who is living a normal life and who is living a top life with a top finance situation and so on.
Of course.
So basically, if I can make some names, I started from Robert Kiyosaki, and I started to think different. That's
Which
why.
book? Do you remember the book? The name of the book?
You started from?
It was Rich Dad Poor Dad, the book, the first book
Nice.
I read, and I began to find the differences between what I was living in that moment and what I would have need to do to make it better, to make it a better life. And I started my second life. I changed totally changed my way of thinking. I'm not saying I started to do something better or not. I don't know, but I started to do something really different.
To think differently, no?
Yeah, to think to think different. And I had one daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Then it came a second one, and I wanted to build something different for me, but also for my family and for my wife, for my daughter. And I realized that Italy was not the best place where to make this improvement. I don't know how to say that. And I started basically for a taxes reason. I started with my wife to look which could be the place where to live a better life. I had a company, so taxes were an important part of my business.
So it's taxes first.
Yeah.
Which were the reasons?
Yeah, that was the trigger. The taxes was the trigger. There were a lot of reasons, but taxi was the
trigger. And then you expanded and looked at all the other reasons why.
Yeah.
So the trigger, that one, and then you were like, okay, but also this and this and this is gonna be better.
Exactly.
So for example, what? Weather, I believe, of course.
Yeah, weather also, but both criminality, pollution, and a lot of things that affects my daughter's life. So I wanted to also to deliver them a better condition, a better life, a better condition.
Sure.
So I started. We started, me and my wife started to look for something different, for a different country, and we started from Australia, New Zealand, Canada, whatever. At the end, the Canary Islands have a very interesting taxing system for investors, and as I wanted to be an investor for the rest of my life, we finally chose to come here, to move here, also because we are in Europe and it's much easier for a European.
Of course.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what was the process? Because I think in this era, in this season, like at the end of 2022, and then we are going, into 2023, I've met a lot of people, myself first of all, like looking for the new place to live in, right?
Right.
And it's important because some people maybe do underestimate some stuff before they move out.
Yeah.
So
Right,
both of you guys, you moved here before, you moved here a couple of years ago. Yeah. So I want to ask you two guys, like, what was the process for you between I'm still in Italy and I'm in Canary Islands legally with my company and everything? How did you manage that? Because a lot of people, has no guide.
Yeah.
Me, first of all, like the fact that you moved here before, I learned. I'm sure about that, but I learned so much that I'm not doing some mistakes maybe you made because you taught me and it was really useful for me.
I don't know about Mark's experience, and maybe you can tell us how your transition was, but for me, everything happened very, very fast because usually I want to do everything fast in order to just continue with everything. I cannot pause my business. I cannot pause trading. So I have to do stuff. And therefore, the decision was very quick. We were half into the financial year. So it was about June, 6 months in.
Yeah.
And I saw that I was making too much money to be taxed
in Italy.
And therefore, I just thought, it's time to move. It's time to look for a better place, not only for taxes, but also for life in general.
Yeah.
And therefore, I paid for 2 consultants, for a call.
Yeah.
We did the call, talked 30 minutes or something. I came here for a week here in Canary Islands. I opened the company right away that week, and I also saw the house which I bought after 1 month. So everything happened very, very
Yeah.
quick in a couple months. And after that, so I came in October, opened the company, and started the process of buying a house. In
Yeah.
December, I finished buying the house, and in January, I moved here.
Company was opened.
Company
and
was
everything.
open. I moved here, and I just kept going with the business, which never stopped along the way. Business and trading never
Sure.
actually stopped, because you have to kind of differentiate between your life and business. And for me, business was and is my life.
Yeah.
Therefore, I was like, okay, I'm moving, and I have to do stuff.
Sure.
I have to open a company. I have to buy the house. I have to pack things. I have to decide which things to bring and which not to bring. I have a cat that I need to bring with me, and we need vaccinations and stuff for the cat.
Vaccination for the cat.
Right, exactly. And it was so much stuff, but I was like, the business and trading and my financial part of life cannot go bad because of my
Absolutely.
own things that I need to take
Yeah.
care of. So, business is business, life is life.
Yeah.
And I needed to just keep going with both.
Sure.
basically,
And
and
how
it's
useful was the fact that you paid two consultants? I don't know if you paid some consultants before you came. I don't even know
I
if
did.
there were. Okay. How useful was that? The fact that somebody maybe with 10 years, 20 years of experience in moving people from Italy to from whatever.
It's very important. In the beginning, I will say that in the beginning you are afraid of scams because
Sure,
you don't know
sure.
the place, you don't know if they're serious or not. But then after talking a bit, I would say that I don't know. I can kind of recognize if someone is serious or not, and
You feel that. Right.
yeah, you feel it. You feel the energy, and I was really lucky to find someone serious right away.
Yeah.
And he helped me with opening the company, moving here. Also in the beginning, that's how I met Mark, because
Yeah.
he was
Yeah, that's
You-
That's an
Yeah.
interesting story.
he was my consultant for buying the first
exactly.
house.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So that's that was a very nice experience, and paying for someone to give you lesson, not only a lesson, but paying for a consultant was the best choice, because it makes it quicker and you avoid many mistakes, and you avoid losing money later. So both for buying a house and also for opening the company, it was very important for me to pay for these services, because it's just how it is with everything.
Yeah. You
Like,
accelerate learning.
accelerate
the learning
learning,
process.
yeah.
It's crazy.
And then I take it as an opportunity to learn. So when I was talking with Mark and he was my consultant,
Yeah.
I was taking it as an opportunity to learn why certain houses were good opportunities for investment and why certain were not good opportunities.
Sure.
And after that, I kind of started learning. Then after, of course, we became friends, and therefore he taught me more about real estate.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
But in the beginning, even if you don't have a friendship, approach,
Yeah.
you can still try to learn some stuff.
Absolutely.
You just
Yeah.
see, if you were telling me, okay, this house is good and this is not, and you shouldn't buy it, then I try to look at.
You
which
analyze
different
that,
details.
like,
yeah.
Why is okay? Okay.
Yeah.
He learned
Okay.
quickly, actually.
I know that. Yeah, but that's so interesting between the two of you guys, because it's really different backgrounds, even
Yeah.
markets, the
Yeah, different
industry
market.
you were working.
Age.
Yeah, even age. Absolutely. And so back to your how your transition happened.
Yeah.
Like which was the main things, because I'm sure somebody is listening and maybe they are in your old situation, on that situation where you don't know if you want to jump, because you
Yeah,
you
my
went
situation
with one
was
daughter.
quite different
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I had
completely
family. I had
yeah, exactly.
two daughters, and so it was quite different. Let me say only one thing about the first real estate investment that
Yeah.
we made. Edward's first investment, he did it with me, and my first investment, I did it from Italy with the same consultant of Edward, and
The company.
the company
Okay.
consultant,
the accountant
Yeah.
basically. and I asked him to make all the checks about the property with the lawyer and so on. So I made my very first investment here in the Canary Islands remotely, without even seeing the property.
How long ago it was that?
It was 2016. So
Okay.
6
years
old,
ago?
7 years.
Yeah, okay.
7 years old. Yeah, and. As I was saying, my situation was quite different because I took my time to make the transition,
Sure.
because
okay.
with the family I
Yeah.
couldn't make a
Like
sudden-
let's go.
Yeah,
Tomorrow we'll go to
let's
Canary
go.
Islands.
I couldn't do it. So as you know, I am a planner.
Yeah.
So I needed to plan my transition, and it took me almost 2 years to move.
Really?
Because
Okay.
because
I'm
I
thinking about it already to move.
no
Was
I,
it decided like
No.
we are moving in 2 years, or it was
I
just
decided in 2015 to move here,
okay?
and I took almost 2 years to prepare to open the company, the investing
Okay.
company, to move my business
Yeah.
and to change my
Your
business.
daughter's school, maybe, because
we-
maybe the school was a thing or not.
Yeah, no, the
No?
school was
Okay.
quite easy. The school was
Okay.
quite easy to solve, but moving my business, no, it was quite a little bit
Okay.
hard.
Okay.
There is one thing I would like to say about moving to another country, that most of the
Yep.
times people thinks that you just need to move somewhere else to build a better life.
Yeah.
But what they missed is that you can't move to another country with the same brain, with the same thoughts you have in your
Yeah.
head, because your problems come from your head, from your attitude, from
Not only from the place. Like
not
if you
only
move-
from the
Yeah.
place.
If you move and bring the problems with you, then
Yeah.
it's just doesn't work.
Yeah.
You cannot escape. You cannot run away from something just by moving.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's
So
like
You
the
can run away from taxes, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
legally. I mean,
There
legally.
you
Yeah.
solve a little part of your picture, no?
Yeah.
But I worked for 2 years on my business, on my thoughts, on my life, because I knew that I was about to change a lot of things in my life, and I needed to manage this
Yeah,
change.
sure.
It's like the honeymoon effect. I think Bruce Lipton talks about that. So you can change everything around you, and I mean the environment has an effect on you. I mean the ocean,
Yeah, of course.
cleaner air to breathe, stuff like that. But you cannot run away from the problem, is because the problem is inside. It's not
Yeah.
like in the outside.
Yeah, sure,
Exactly.
sure.
Exactly.
Interesting. And then so you did the first investment in like 2016,
Yeah,
right? And then you
I'm-
started.
yeah. I
Yeah.
moved 1 year later.
Yeah, so you did the investment remotely, and then you started managing other people's investments. What was the like the craziest? I don't know the process.
Biggest or great?
The craziest, the craziest story you lived with an investor, with a company, because
Being a consultant.
yeah, being a consultant in these kind of investments, because I've seen, like, just to give you an example, my brother owns three real estate agencies now in Italy, and because of that, I've met a lot of different real estate realtors, and I know there is some funny stories, maybe also for you, that
Yeah.
without the names.
Yeah,
Of course.
of course. I don't know if funny or scary, but there is one story that explains a lot about why I am doing this, why
Okay.
I am helping investors to make investment here, because here it's quite dangerous to make real estate investments if you don't know how to make every single check about the property.
Right.
I am talking about
Okay.
legally, but also about the property itself, that is compliant to the
Like, for example,
to the law and
Okay.
so on. This, for example, in Italy, in the notary, they check everything
yeah, exactly, yeah.
normally. but here they don't. They
So
don't.
you could buy a house and then discover
Yeah.
like a bad news.
Yeah, for example,
Yep.
one Italian, because I work a lot with Italians
That are used
investors. Yeah,
So that kind of
Or
notary.
in general,
stuff.
you do the consultant for any type of investor.
Yeah,
but
any
most
type.
You are working with more Italian.
Most
than-
of them
I
are.
started with Italians
Okay.
because the first investors were from the same the same advisory
base, the same
advisory
advice.
Okay,
study
okay,
that,
yeah.
that we are working with, and
The craziest story,
yeah.
scariest.
Yeah, this is
Great.
quite scary because one
it.
customer asked me to help in buying a property, and we went to make a visit to the property with a real estate agent, and it was a 200 square meters property.
Okay.
About they had legally paper that certified that was 200 square meters.
Do you remember the price?
Oh, the price was low, was in a bad place. I wouldn't have an investment that place. I think around 100,000
Okay.
euros, more or less.
Right.
And so the price was quite interesting for a 200 square
Mhm.
meter property.
Sure.
And when we got there, I realized that the property was at least half the
Size,
the
yeah?
size that was
Crazy.
on the paper.
How is that?
I started asking, well, the real estate agent, well, I don't think there are 200 square meters here. No, it's written here. It's written on the paper. I said, well, okay, it's written on the paper, but I am buying. My customer is buying the property for at least 100 square meters. So, which is the point here?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think
It's
some.
it's
we
Where are
missing-
the other 100 meters? Like,
Yeah.
Well, to
yeah.
make it short, the property was actually 100 and so square meters, but in the papers there were 200 square meters because the project that was approved 20 years earlier was for building a property of 200
Okay.
square meters. But the owner didn't have the money to build all
to
the
build.
property. So he built half the property, and then they were about to sell the
Okay.
More
the
square
pro-
meters.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So buying that remotely, it could be fucked.
No, could be crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
no, you need to have a consultant. That's
Absolutely.
why.
You
That's
need
why. That's why. But it's not. I would say that this is the biggest example, craziest that you go and there is half the house that you're buying.
Yeah.
Basically. Half the square meters. But
Yeah.
many other cases, now I would say that I know most of the stuff. We always talk about investments, but I learned a lot from Mark, and I can make evaluations as well.
Sure.
He
But
doesn't need me anymore for real estate investments.
well, we always talk about
Yeah,
every
sure.
opportunity. But anyway, there are many small cases, many small things that you need to check other than this one, which is of
Sure,
course.
sure, yeah.
And
The
therefore-
house is
Yeah.
half.
And therefore, for investors coming from outside, if you just buy a house like this and you don't know what to check for, it can be a problem.
Yeah,
Because-
because
yeah.
you don't now you know way more problems you could find because you already found them in other properties and stuff like that.
Right, yeah.
But if you don't know shit, you're like happier and more at ease. Like whatever, because you don't know the problems
Yeah.
and stuff.
But
Yeah. Okay.
also, in order for me to buy 6 properties,
Yeah.
it means that we at least evaluated 40. Like,
Okay, yeah,
because
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
like you see one, you
Absolutely.
I
mean,
said-
it can happen.
yeah,
One,
it, can
yeah,
it
but
happens sometimes that I just see like the office. We saw
the
it,
office was crazy.
and that's it.
Yeah,
But,
quite crazy.
but other times you search for a property like the one in the second one in Fuerteventura.
Yeah.
I mean the second house that I bought, which is the first one in Fuerteventura.
Okay.
I was looking for a house for quite some time, sending Mark links and evaluating together
Yeah.
many opportunities, and you see many different problems among
Yeah.
different houses, and therefore you just build experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every problem
Mhm.
means less value in the property. So you
Sure.
need to
You
to
want to
make
find them, like you.
you want to find them because you want to pay less, and you have to be able to solve problems, because your property that you pay less for the problems is going to get more value with solving.
Okay, it could cost more without those problems, but you prefer to have those problems because for you, like, maybe it's the 100 times you see that problem, so you're like, boom, fixed.
Yeah.
And okay.
Everybody can buy a good property with money, but not everybody can buy a bad property, but that you can solve the problem in to make it a great property with less money. I don't know if
you see the potential and you invest in the potential, basically. Of
that's
the
the business. That's the business.
Well, like the last one in Fuerteventura is not a great.
That you bought remotely.
I bought remotely, yeah.
With him, not him, going there.
No, they just sent me the video.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's it.
Yeah.
But you know, it's if you working right now in the property, not only in the house but also in the whole property, it doesn't look nice.
Yeah.
But in 2 months, everything will be renovated, both the outside space and also inside the house. And you are buying basically a project in some way that will do great in the future.
Sure.
In a couple months in the future, you know.
Yeah.
But other cases where the house is already great by like this and you can just start.
Yeah, so the value is rising by itself in 2 months. And he even doesn't need to do nothing to...
Yeah, that one is crazy, like with the outside stuff they are fixing. Yeah. We talked about that, I think.
We did talk about it last...
In one of the previous...
Yeah. That was great. And, you know, another thing, it's a nice story. It's a little bit funny. Since we're talking about buying remotely, I was in Italy in April for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And... I don't know, I sent Mark one property, he told me no, this is not very good, and then we were like, what can I do to buy something with the company and to lower taxes? And he was like, an office could be great. And I sent him the link right away. I was like, what about this office? And he's like, that looks really nice also compared to the price.
To the price, yeah.
Yeah.
And he went to visit the office. Because I was in Italy.
We were playing basketball in that moment. In the playground.
We were
behind my
playing
home.
basketball, and I was talking to you.
Yeah.
And Mark went, visited the office, and then I was like, okay, I'm sure I want to buy it. We will do something great here with everything that we want to do for basically for our projects. And he made the offer for me, and I didn't know how much he offered. I promise. I swear.
That's because he was a friend in that occasion and not a consultant.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
He was like, you have to get this.
No, I was like, I want to get it, and I confirmed that I want it. And he's like, okay, I talked to them, and he made the offer.
He knew your thought process on that, and okay, that's amazing. And then you got there.
He made the offer for about 10% less of the value, which is not little. It's 10% less.
Yeah.
And they agreed.
I saw that. Yeah.
Well, they agreed, of course. We're in the office now.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah, because there were little problems that we were able to solve easily. So
there is this thing.
Yeah.
So there is okay.
Well, so it was a good deal. I think I am sure it was a good deal because we now know that the bank
evaluated it.
Okay.
Evaluated the
after you bought, like 1 year after. Okay.
After I bought it, it evaluated the office after 6 months. Like after 6 months, they evaluated it, and my office is
20% more. I think
is worth 20% more than what I paid for.
Yeah.
For the bank, and the bank always evaluates stuff less, so it can be sold for even more.
Yeah.
That's also for the location. It's 2 minutes from the beach.
Wow.
You know.
Location is amazing.
I love that part.
Yeah.
I love that part.
So going back 1 second to we were talking about moving to another country, moving to Canary Islands, the mental approach and everything. I would say that the three of us all have a different. We are in a different time of our life of this decision.
Yeah.
So Mark moved 5 years ago. I moved 2 years ago. You are maybe thinking about it or thinking of staying a little bit in one place, a little bit in other places.
Yeah.
What is your mental approach to moving to other countries or to Canary Islands, or how do you see this? How do you approach it?
So I I decided, like, for example, the first time I came here, it was after you moved here officially. So a little bit, maybe a couple of months less than 2 years ago, maybe 18, 20 months ago, something like that. I went the first time with my girlfriend, and I mean, I felt in love with the place, and also I was looking at the cost of life
Yeah.
compared to Italy.
Yeah.
So of course, like,
It depends. But
it depends. you can spend a lot here. You
Yeah.
can spend like I've met some people spending really few amount of a small amount of money. But what I saw is, first of all, so I decided, like, in the first moment 2 years ago, we were ready to move, but I had to place.
Sorry for
Yeah, go ahead.
For me, it wasn't to spend less, but
Absolutely.
to spend the same, but
But
experience
living,
more.
Yeah.
absolutely, because I was taking a look, at the, for example, I will rent coming here because
Yeah.
I want to live in a place I rent,
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
but I've seen the prices, and for example, in the city I live in Italy, with like 1,000, 1,500, you can get a great place inside the city, in the center of the city, stuff like that, but
An
with-
apartment. Like an apartment. in the city.
nothing that amazing, and you're not. I don't love that specific part of the city, but the apartments are cool. But here, I was taking a look at like 1,200, 1,500, 1,800, and I can get the ocean front. Maybe the camera is not recording, but like this close to the ocean, we
Yeah.
are here,
Yeah.
and the fact of breathing
Yeah.
more purified,
Air,
listening to the sound of the ocean.
course.
I don't meditate as a superstition, as we were discussing on some other podcasts, but the fact of being able to meditate and maybe do breathing exercises, maybe synchronizing my rhythm with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ocean, stuff like that. So I felt in love with the place, basically. And my perspective in the beginning was like, fuck, let's move here.
Yeah, right
But
away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next
But
week.
then I had some, let's call them family urgencies, and so it was like, okay, priorities. I decide, I don't have to, but I decide to stay closer to my family. My dad was living a bad healthy situation, so it was like, okay, let's stay here until this finish, basically, because I want to stay close to my family. And then that went on for like 1 year, and then after that, we decided to slow down the moving part because of stuff after my dad passed away. We had to manage in Italy, basically. But like right now, in this moment, my approach is this: I'm coming here as many times as I can. So whenever I can, I book a flight, come here 1 week, 2 week, whatever, every time I want. And I was putting on myself a little bit, I think, too much pressure on doing this faster than what I needed. Because in the middle of this year, it was like, I don't want to pay this amount of taxes to Italy the next year, honestly. But then, like, I tried different islands to understand where to move. So I tried Tenerife, I tried Gran Canaria in different areas. And then I decided for Gran Canaria, not Tenerife, for what I saw. But then it was like, okay, fuck. Like, if I move after January, what can happen is I will pay whatever I have to pay. Like, nobody's running after me. And so I switched my approach, and I'm, like, in this moment, coming here as many times as I can. I'm actually moving also in Italy, like, to a new apartment to do the level up also in Italy. And then I will take... It's just math for me. Like, if I spend here in Canary Island for the next 6 months, if I spend 3 entire months, it's one thing. If I spend 2 entire months, it's another thing. And so it's just math on understanding if I want to rent a place for like 1 year, 6 months, whatever, or change as many Airbnbs as I can to try different areas. This was my thing the last couple of years. So I tried like 15 different oceanfront Airbnbs to see the areas, to see my feeling.
Yeah, that's a wise
buildings,
approach.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I could have done this faster, but whatever. I'm doing this in the next couple of months, so that's my perspective right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that there is no right or wrong approach to this. Everyone is living a, different life, has different things. to take care of, and it's great. If you want to come here more, I'm glad. So we can do more podcasts. We can do a lot of stuff, but also we will see each other in Italy, playing basketball at the same place, planning business as usual.
Yeah.
So
The biggest ideas came.
even if we move, we'll go to that place to play basketball probably.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because just ideas came from that place.
Absolutely. Yeah. Somebody broke the basket.
Yeah.
But we will play whatever.
We will play.
It's just the idea. We
It's
can
just
shoot
the
without the basket.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, this is my perspective. Thank you so much for these questions. I don't know. The thing, I have a lot of questions to ask you about the real estate part. I don't know if we have time now, but what was talking about the time, because this thing about the deciding based on speed and doing faster stuff. What was the faster real estate transaction you have ever done by yourself?
Fastest?
Or like he called one day and then in X amount of time it was done, completely done.
Well, for me it was the first property I bought here, because I didn't have a lot of knowledge. I just was looking for a property to rent it out to tourists, and I was not so precise in selecting the properties like I am now. So this was a great thing that moment, because I bought the property. My accountant called me and told me, well, there is this property. He sent me the link, and they said, yes, okay, make the offer, and that's it. So it was very quick.
Okay.
Now I have one, but I am not the buyer. He is the buyer.
Okay.
And it was very fast investment. The one in the mountain.
Yeah.
I think.
I
Okay,
wanted to
yeah.
answer to
Yeah.
So I give you the.
That was the fourth. Total?
Well, the story goes, I'm in Italy with you playing basketball.
Every story starts like that.
Right. Every story starts like that. And
Really? For
No.
the one in the mountain?
no. I start back from a
okay.
little bit before. I'm talking with Mark, sending him the office. He goes to check it out for me, offers 10% less. Boom, they accept.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I have to come back to Canary Islands
Yeah.
to sign the papers in order to buy the office. I come back, and there were some days before that had to go by before I could go and actually sign to buy the office.
Yeah.
And at the same time, he sends me an investment opportunity in the mountains here. And I'm like, let's go check it out. We go check it out, and in few days I had to sign for the office. We go check it out, we go to the mountain, and there were 2 apartments. I see the first one,
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, okay, it's great, price is not bad, blah, blah.
Nothing spectacular.
We go to the second one, and I just see it. There was also the space to put a sauna in the mountains. It's
You
crazy.
saw the sauna in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, we looked at each other and we were like, sauna here.
Sound
Okay.
inside.
And I turn around to Mark and I'm like, how can I tell him? Like, I don't know very well Spanish. I don't know what to say. How can I
Yeah.
tell him to keep the place for me? That I buy it, basically.
Yeah.
And he's like, do you mean right now? Don't you want to look at the numbers? And I'm like, no, I thought about the numbers. It's
fine.
good opportunities. He's like, tell him this way. And I turned around and told him, I was like, okay, I want to buy this house. Can I make an offer? And we just talked a little bit, and I was like, okay, I'll buy it. Right there, we're still in the house.
Okay.
And then that's it.
So it was the first visit.
first visit,
yeah.
first visit ever in the house.
On
I just-
site.
on site. I
Okay.
just saw the house, saw the rooms, and I told him right away, I want to buy this house. I will buy it as soon as possible. Just like let me pay.
I remember you like a couple of weeks ago. You were like, I'm gonna buy the next one and then chill for a second. And
Yeah.
you never cheated. I remember. Yeah.
Every time I say it.
Yeah. Every house. Okay. That's fine.
Now
I will
not
chill
look-
for a second.
Yeah.
Oh
I will
my
not
God.
look for more opportunities.
Yeah.
And
Well, we have to say that when looking for real estate opportunities, everything needs to be really quick. People think that it's a big investment. You have to pay a lot of money, but
You don't have time.
reality you
to-
don't
to-
have time.
yeah.
If it's a good opportunity, if it's a good deal, then you need to be ready. with your money
Sure.
in your hand, in your pocket, and you have to close as soon as you can.
I believe the office and the mountain house were both great opportunities for the price compared to the value of the house. In fact, they were both valued by the bank way more than what I paid for.
Okay.
And I bought them basically 2 weeks apart. In April, I bought these two properties.
Okay.
So that was the fastest, I would say, because after, I don't know, I just said, okay, I buy it.
Sure.
They told me the date in which I was gonna sign the papers, and that's it. It was like done.
Sure.
So that was pretty quick, I would say.
I want to say something about something personal, if I can, about Edward, because it was very funny for me. When you signed the contract for buying the property in the mountain, then you made yourself a gift. Do you remember? The same day.
No?
Don't you remember?
Surfboard? No.
No.
What did I buy? A Rolex. Yeah.
The same
The
day.
same day.
Where are you? Yeah, I'm buying a Rolex. Well, you just bought a house. Yes, I wanted it to celebrate the moment.
I didn't remember.
Didn't you remember?
No, not the same day. Not the same day.
It was the same day.
That was nice.
Yeah.
After buying the house or before?
After signing.
The story is cooler now.
The story is way cooler now.
Yeah.
So I bought two properties and a Rolex. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
fine.
It's great
What-
that it comes from Mark because I didn't remember at all this detail.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And by the way,
I remember because I was shocked.
and I remember like the first, I think the first two watches. The cool thing is because a lot of people is like flexing the watches or shit like that. And I remember you came into my house. You had the two new watches, whatever.
Yeah, one Rolex and one Omega. Yeah.
Exactly, and you were like, yeah, this is investment.
Yeah,
Like the
right.
focus was investments.
Yeah.
You didn't. You were like, let me put on for a couple of minutes, but then
Yeah.
it was an investment. It was completely unemotional for what I saw, right?
Yeah, right. Still is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I might like one model
Sure,
better than
sure,
the other,
sure.
but it still needs to be a good investment.
But
So
you
in
choose the good investment
Yeah,
normally.
of course. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And,
Okay.
you know, I go back to this story
Sure.
in a second. I would say it was very cool for me the first time I bought my first watch.
Yeah.
Because I was in Italy, I wanted to make some investments. I wanted to buy some gold. I wanted to buy some Rolexes, some luxury watches in order to make an investment. And you know, I was looking for places. I go to the Rolex store in Venice, and they say, "Oh, we don't have anything."
Nothing.
Some other people, I go there personally. They see that I was 23, I believe, at that time, and they're like, "Yeah, I was 23," and they're like,
Go away. Yeah.
yeah, or something like. I call in Switzerland and they don't have Rolexes, the Rolex store. I find finally one place in my city, in Treviso, which had some Rolexes and some other watches, and I went there.
I
And
remember the story.
yeah, I looked. I mean, I'm 24 now, but I for some reason I looked a little bit younger. Maybe I had less beard or something. I don't know. And I went and you know I'm like, can I look at some watches? Can you show me? He showed me some stuff, some Rolexes, some Omegas, some Pateks. He also had, and I'm like, okay, I buy this one and that one. And he's like, never. I'm open since 1978 or something like that, and no one has ever bought two watches the same day. And I don't know,
He was like, "Do you want to think about that?"
Yeah, he was
like the opposite of sales.
yeah, he was not a salesperson. He was like, "Do you want to think about it? Are you sure? It's
It's a lot of money.
lot of
Count
money."
the zeros, right?
He was like, "Are you sure? Do you want to think about it? Do you want to come back tomorrow?" And I was like, "No, let's do it." And then there were some problems with the bank because my limit to send via bank transfer was too low. So I'm like, is there a problem if, I don't know, I go to the bank tomorrow and, you know, I tell them personally to send you the money and I come tomorrow to get the Rolex and the Omega? And he's like, can you go today?
So he switched to a salesperson
He
then.
gave me his wife's bicycle. He's like, take. And I have the video video. Maybe we can put it. We can put it now because I have it on my phone. I have the video where I'm riding his wife's bicycle in order to go to the bank and make the transfer. And then after that, I don't know, the same day he gave me the.
So
the
he had a
watches and
commission,
met
I
with-
think.
Uh-huh.
He had a commission, I think.
Yeah.
Even the wife, probably.